Alright everybody, so we're going to be going over HTB Headless Retired box. So first we're going to execute some cross-site scripting. So Headless is an easy Linux machine that features a Python server hosting a website. The website has a custom support form which is found to be vulnerable to blind cross-site scripting via the user agent header. Then we'll be stealing some cookies. This vulnerability is leveraged to steal an admin cookie, which is then used to access the administrator dashboard. The page is vulnerable to command injection, leading to a reverse shell on the box. Enumerating the user's mail reveals a script that does not use absolute pass, which is leveraged to gain as root shell. This is going to be the attack chain. So first we're going to leverage a vulnerable service via XSS, then we're going to steal the cookies and use the header to initiate a reverse shell for our initial access exploit, after which we'll go ahead and gain root access via the sudo L and vulnerable sh script to privilege escalate. Alright, let's go ahead and get
The
started.
first thing you're going to do is do your nmap scan like I did here. Doing the nmap scan that I ran you'll identify two ports, one being 22 and the other one being 80. And once you identify those ports, then you're going to go ahead and go to, or actually not port 80, it's port 5000. That's the one with the web page on it. But you're going to go to that web page and you're going to see that you have this website here. So I'll just go here to this web page real quick. All right. All right. And then you go to for questions. You can see that you can actually cross-site script this. So I'll just do an example here. Put in a cross-site script tag. admin@admin.com. Could be anything. And you can see you got this hacking attempt detected. So what we're going to do here is we're going to end up testing this functionality and putting in a test for the request. But let me go back one. So go ahead and start up burp because you're going to need that. So we have burp intercept on. And so I'll show you what I had done to get there. But if you go to burp, you have intercept on, and then you intercept one of the requests to the dashboard, or actually the support page. So this is support. So go here to support, and go render, see what that says. Just find the one that I had done. And so what we're going to end up doing is actually making our own um, parameter and then sending a request using that parameter. So I'll just find that real quick and bring it up. All right, so you can go here to your support request. I don't think it has to be any specific one, but let me pull up this one. This is an older request. You can see I was doing some type of um, queries here that caused the hacking detected. So those were some SQL, or no, those were some cross-site scriptings that I did. And we'll go to this one here. So this is the contact form. It doesn't look like I entered anything in this one. So let me go to another one here for a post request. And here's a post request. So this is the same thing again, more cross-site scripting. Then you have this one, and this is um, where I'm just entering just regular test information. And this is where we're going to test to see if we can inject something within the headers, right? So then I would take this and send it to repeater. And then when I send it to repeater, then it'll go here. And let's see if I have an old request here that we can use for an example. And this is actually a good one. So this one has test in it. There's a fake header that we're going to create. And when I send this, I get an internal server error. But let's go and take this, and I think it's because it's an older request. But if we go to this one, for example, and we were to enter that request in, let's see if I still get that error. You can see it actually works, and when we render it, it shows the page here. Now we want to cause the little curly brackets to, or we want to cause the hack detected. So if we enter curly brackets in here, should cause it to come up. Or no, it's not that one. It's, see what causes that. It's going to be either, yeah, no, it should be that, or we put that in for the message. So we'll just put test in. And for the message, we could input curly brackets. This. There we go. So when we do that, then we get this hacking detected. But when you scroll down, you'll see that the fake header is actually in there with the test. So that's some good information. Now what we can do is attempt to steal a cookie, right? Before we do that, we want to make sure that it is actually susceptible to cross-site scripting as far as us getting an alert 1. So we'll go ahead and test for that. All right, so next we're going to go ahead and check to see if we can get an alert 1 script here. Copy that, come over here, and just paste it into the fake header. Where's the fake header at? Here it is. Okay. We want to keep test in there. Script alert 1 script. All right, cool. So then when we send this, we still get the hack detected, and you can see it's just showing the test. Now let's try to render this in the browser. So show response in browser, we copy it, we go here to the browser, intercept is off, I believe, so we can see it, and then we get a script alert. So the cross-site scripting is working, and that's good. Now what we want to do next is try to steal the cookie. So we can do that, and I kind of used a walkthrough to assist me with this portion because um, I'm not all that familiar with how to you know, steal cookies and stuff like that. Like I've done it here and there, but it's not something that, I know how to do right off the bat, and it's something that I end up having. I'm gonna have to put in my toolbox because, it's something I learned. But what we're gonna do here is we're gonna insert a script alert or cross-site scripting to try and get a connection to our HTTP server, and then it's going to provide us the cookie because this cross-site scripting is asking for the server to send its cookie to our server via HTTP. So we'll go ahead and go here, and what I did is I deny config, showed my local host here, and then I'm going to go ahead and copy that in, and I'm going to come over, gosh, copy that, come over here, and then just put that in for the IP address. And now spin up a Python server. So if we spin up Python server, I believe, where's that rolling at? Let's say it's on this one. So sudo python 3 and then serve it on port 80. When we do that, we should get a response back. So that's what you're going to do. Leave test in there. So you notice that test is still in there. Leave that in there. I believe because it's a stored XSS where it's actually storing that. And we can go ahead and send this now. All right, so when you do that, what you should do is you should get response back here. Okay, and if you don't, do it multiple times. It took me multiple times before I was able to get it to work. And if that don't work, try doing a new request. So, obviously this is an older one. Another thing you need to do is you need to render this in the browser because simply doing that actually didn't get the cookie. So I have to request it in browser. original session, copy it, then go over here, make sure intercept's off, send it, and now what you should receive after you do that is it looks like my intercept's still on. So for that, for that. And now if I go to my terminal, you should see this is a new request here. You'll see one, it should follow up by the cookie that you've been using, and then the second cookie, which is the admin cookie. So that's the one that that's the juicy one, right? So you can see it's sent it again. And so it's responding to my HTTP server with its cookie. In this case, it's admin cookie because the HTTP only is set to false and it's not set to secure and true. And another thing is because I'm able to do, cross-site scripting. That's why we're able to actually get this to execute. Okay, so with that said, you'll take this cookie and then you'll go ahead and do some dir busting. I used dir to do some dir busting here, and I found two directories, support and dashboard. We've already seen support, but we haven't seen dashboard. So if we go to dashboard, what you're going to see is you're going to see, let's see if I have it up already, unauthorized. So because we're unauthorized, we can't access it. But now that we have this cookie, we can access it. And a way of doing that is to just add the cookie to the session. It's easier to do on Firefox, but because we're trying to use burp and everything, we want to obviously do it here, right? So in order to get that to work, the simplest way to get it to work, and this is kind of what I did, and you can choose to do it or not that way, but it works for me, would be to go to this dashboard get request. You can see that the admin cookie is currently set to this, but if I edit this and change it, so if I send this to repeater, right, so you have it here in the history, so you right click it, send to repeater once you intercept it, come over here, and then I think I still have the old one here too. Let me see if I do. Yeah, this is it right here. So let's go to this one right here. So you can see I've actually set the admin cookie here, and let's render it, see what that looks like. No, it's not showing. Okay, so I'll show you an example of what that should look like, right? So make sure this is for browser. Go here, send it, go to proxy, intercept, forward that, go to history, scroll down, send this to repeater, go here, take the cookie, change it out, my admin cookie that I found, send it, and then here you can see the rendered result is this administrator dashboard. Okay, great. So we got the administrator dashboard. Now, how do we exploit this? Well, in order to do that, we would have to look at the logic behind this and see how we can possibly, exploit it. So if we go and we look at this in the browser, go look at this in the browser. Copy. This is kind of annoying having to go back and forth, but it's all right. I actually prefer it this way because I'm going through the steps here. And we generate the report, right? So we generate the report, we go here to proxy, it's sending that request here, and then here's the request. Now, what do we need to do? Remember, we have to change the cookie, right? So we have to send this to repeater, and then once it's at repeater, we have to change that cookie again, because every request is coming through without the correct cookie. So, I can just go back to the old one that I had here that has the cookie and then just take it real quick. It's not that big of a deal. And then go back to this one and then just change it real quick. And I can send it. And when I send it, now it renders. Systems are up and running. Okay, great. So what do we see here that we didn't see at the other one? Well, the date. The date, that's a new field, right? So how can we exploit that? Well, what if we were to, and let me just go back at one of these older ones that I did. what if we were able to do some type of reverse shell there? Well, I could tell you that's going to work. So we can take this reverse shell, come over here, drop it in there, bam. And then we can do it again, but this time have the reverse shell run, right? So we could try setting it again. Let me try pulling up my terminal here. And here I can go to my NC, it's my netcat session. And you can see I've actually set my netcat like this. So that's what you want to do. All right. And you can just grab that command. Come down here. I'm just going to redo this. All right, cool. So now I have my netcat listening. Let's see if it works. I want to see if this works. And you can see we got a connection. So who am I? Diver. Okay, Diver. So now that I'm Diver, I can ls pwd. All right, let's go back one. pwd ls. And now you can cat the users.text. I won't show that because that's against HTTP's policy, but you can do it yourself and you'll see the text file that you need to put in. All right, so now that we have that done, what do we need to do next? Well, now we need to, escalate our privileges. So how are we going to escalate our privileges? Well, um, one thing you always want to do is sudo al, see if that's a quick win. And you can see you have this file here. Okay, so this file is some type of binary. Let's check it out. Let's see what's going on with that. Let's check the logic behind it. All right, so it's a binary that checks the system status, and it's initiating the script here. All right, cool. So now that we know it's initiating this script, now what we need to do is try to find a way to inject malicious code into that script so that we can, um, gain access to it. And so we'll go ahead and try to do that. Let me go ahead and pull up that command for injecting your malicious script in there. All right, 1 second. All right, so before we do that, we want to make sure we go to the CD temp file and ls. We're in the CD temp file. Then we're going to want to create this script. And because there isn't a specific path to the script, that means that the script will run no matter what file it's in. So if we create script in the temp file, then the system will see that and run this script first. So let's go ahead and insert this bin bash command. So what it's telling the computer to do is, hey, initiate the script, and then once you initiate the script, run bash as root, and then we'll have root access. So then when we click enter, it's create that script. Now, the next thing we need to do is we need to give the script permissions to execute. And so what we're going to do is we're going to run it like that, and now it's going to execute. All right, so now with that said, we can now run this binary, which will initiate our malicious script, and we should have root. So who am I? Your root. So now you can cd into the root directory, and then you can ls and cat the root.txt. Now I won't do that here because again, that's against the policy. But what I did is I ran you through this box, and it's very intriguing how you can add headers, in this case, steal cookies, and then run some type of cross-site scripting to then initiate a reverse shell and, of course, look for ways to escalate privileges. Now, I hope you enjoy this lab. It took me a good minute to do it because I kept running into issues, but I hope this helps you get through it. And, just working within Burp helped me a lot. So that's it. Hope you enjoyed it. Please subscribe. Danny out.